Make sure to subscribe to our channel to stay updated with our latest videos. Camilla's dark secret exposed. There was no doubt about who Charles was calling. It was only the 5th day of their honeymoon, yet Diana couldn't hide her hurt and anger. She refused to accept Camilla's invisible presence in their married life. The beginning of their marriage was off to a very bad start, and the photo of Camilla in a wedding dress was the final blow. She was now Andrew Parker Bowles' wife, with no turning back. Buckingham Palace made it clear to the Prince of Wales that his past was in the past, and Camilla only offered him friendship. It was a familiar story for a member of the royal family. They had to play their roles in public, hiding their true thoughts and feelings. The only one who successfully rebelled was Edward VIII. The phone became a lifeline. What's so unusual about old friends occasionally talking to each other? It didn't violate any rules. When Camilla gave birth to her son, Charles became his godfather, a gesture of friendship once again. But the voice of the woman he still loved sounded more and more troubled over the phone. Charles easily discovered that Andrew Parker Bowles, despite having a wife and 2 children, hadn't abandoned his old habits. Andrew always enjoyed a carefree and easygoing lifestyle. Even Charles's sister, Princess Anne, was once charmed by him, as were many of Camilla's friends. Once, during a dinner at the Parker Bowles' house, one of them jokingly asked Andrew, "It seems I'm not on your list of conquests. What's wrong with me?" A pause followed. They were both experiencing their own catastrophes: Charles, the collapse of his hopes for happiness with Camilla, and Camilla, the shattered illusions of finding solace with Andrew. As time went on, the palace increasingly demanded that the prince find a bride. The list of potential candidates was not extensive. The woman had to come from a good family, be suitable in age, and not be involved in any romantic affairs. Both Caesar's wife and the Prince of Wales's wife had to remain beyond suspicion. Sarah Spencer briefly appeared on Charles's horizon. A few encounters, careless words to the press, and she was instantly labeled as an ex. It can't be said that Sarah was deeply distraught, but Diana learned a lesson from her mistake. It was better for a future princess to remain silent. As a result, when Diana met Charles a few times, she would only smile mysteriously at the paparazzi's questions. The newspaper photos delighted the English public. What a lovely blush on her cheeks. What a gentle girl. And she was even a nanny. She must love children. She seems very nice, Camilla said during their phone revelations with Charles. Do you want us to become friends? Of course, he wanted that. After all, Camilla knew him better than anyone else. But communicating with Diana became strained. Her daughter, Lady Sarah Spencer, quickly informed her about Charles's and Camilla's past relationship. And when Diana found out that Mrs. Parker Bowles had received a gift, a gold bracelet with the monogram GF, before the wedding, a heated scene ensued. It means dear friend, Charles repeated. But Diana shook her head. She didn't believe him. She was convinced that it was the encrypted initials of Gladys and Fred, the secret names Camilla and Charles once used for each other. A long time ago. Unable to convince his fiancée of anything, the prince reached for the phone again, hoping someone would listen on the other end. That phone call on the 5th day of their honeymoon was also a cry for help. Charles and Diana, if not entirely alone, how could they get rid of the entire yacht crew and numerous assistants? Were at least relatively secluded and discovered that they didn't understand each other at all. Charles's books filled Diana with sadness, and the prince couldn't speak the language of Barbara Cartland's romance novels. The newly proclaimed princess grew bored on the yacht and didn't know what to occupy herself with. Thus, the coldness and alienation grew, and the cycle continued. Did they have a chance? Not in the slightest. 2 individuals who were too different and found it too difficult to accept each other's character couldn't reach an agreement. The phone conversations were endless. Camilla's married life spiraled downward, and the gap between Charles and Diana widened. 5 years after their wedding, the Prince and Princess of Wales were practically living separately. Diana stayed in Kensington Palace, while Charles preferred Highgrove Estate. "It's very close to Camilla," the gossips whispered. They were right. But doesn't a person seek the company of someone they find more pleasant? Camilla shared all his interests: gardening, scientific journals, and animals. The press became increasingly interested in the two of them. The prince's phone number was tapped, and there was so much personal content there. Everyone laughed at Charles and Camilla's phone revelations. In the early 1990s, no British newspaper was complete without their photos and a few quotes from their conversations. Let's be generous, neither Prince Charles nor Camilla knew they were being eavesdropped on. We all know Diana's reaction. She gave a major interview and appeared in public wearing her revenge dress. Did it save the marriage? Certainly not. On the other hand, this marriage seemed to have never truly existed. By the end of 1992, Diana and Charles had permanently separated. It took several more years to finalize all the details. Camilla's divorce from Andrew Parker Bowles took place in 1995. If you found this story intriguing, make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more captivating content. What are your thoughts on the Charles, Diana, and Camilla love triangle? Let us know in the comments below. We value your opinion.